Hello, Micah Lee, Sifa's hubby.
Sup?
We're gonna wait for a little more, a few more people to get up in here. I'm gonna share it. Oh my God, why is my fan making that noise? Handle chat for just a second if anybody else comes in.
Uh-oh. Killshot's in here. So is PJ.
Hi, Killshot and PJ. How are you guys tonight? Hey y'all, what's up? Hey Kristen. Glad you can make it. So I did find some information on this case. Thank you for letting me know about it, Kristen.
It's the same piece of chicken.
Yeah, but you're adding it. Okay. Wow, PJ. PJ, are you getting spammed?
You eat that water?
All right, let me pull up the article. Can y'all see it? Okay. Okay. So I don't know if y'all remember a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about the Oregon murders of the 6 women. They were all murdered like within 100 miles of each other. And at one point, they did find that 2 were connected. And then this came out today. So, law enforcement officials suspect a Multnomah County man released early from prison is a serial killer. So, I thought that was one of the important points was the fact that he was released, early. So, I would like to know his record and his past. But Jesse Lee Calhoun is in custody, but has not yet been charged in any of the deaths of the 6 women earlier this year. So this news station has learned that a Multnomah County man is a suspect in the killings of 4 of 6 women found dead earlier this year in the greater Portland metro area. So it is saying that as far as right now, it's 4 of the 6 women that he's a suspect in. Several people familiar with ongoing investigations in multiple jurisdictions tell WW that detectives have linked 4 of the deaths to Jesse Lee Calhoun, whose most recent address is in Portland. Serial killers are unusual, but Calhoun's case, according to people familiar with it, may be one of a kind. That's because Calhoun, 38, is among the more than 1,000 inmates whom former government Kate Brown granted clemency, allowing them to leave prison early. Of those Brown released early, officials believe Calhoun is the only one whose clemency has since been revoked. Records show that he is currently in custody at Snake River Correctional Institution in Ontario, where he was lodged July 6 on charges apparently unrelated to the murders. The charges on which he is being held do not show up in online court records, which is unusual. He has not yet been charged in any of the women's deaths, although officials expect that will change. And this is a picture of Jesse Calhoun. And remember, right now, like they're saying, he's just a suspect. Nothing has been confirmed. There have not been any official charges put out yet. But this is who they're definitely looking at. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Hey, Gray Squirrel, how are you? Sway, how are you today? Okay, so he was reportedly a talented artist who told booking officials he earned his living painting designs on vehicles, has a long record of felony convictions dating to 2004. After arresting him in 2018 with meth, several guns, and more than 500 rounds of ammunition, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office called him a prolific thief and career criminal. Calhoun's most recent convictions came in November 2019 when he pled guilty in separate cases to a raft of felonies, including burglary, unauthorized possession of a stolen vehicle, and injuring a police officer and a police dog when they attempt to arrest him. Those convictions earned him 4 concurrent sentences, the longest of which was 50 months, which included the nearly 9 months he'd already served. His projected release date after a 20% reduction due to good behavior was June 30th of 2022, according to the Oregon Department of Corrections. But another 11 months were shaved off after he joined a group of inmates fighting wildfires. He was released on July 22nd of 2021. So it's coming up on 2 years that he's been out. During the pandemic, Government Brown began a process of granting mass commutations, early release to prisoners who were well behaved, nearing the end of their sentences, and particularly vulnerable to COVID-19. In Oregon, the governor has broad latitude to either release prisoners early, that's called conditional clemency, or pardon them outright, which entails both releasing them and scrubbing their criminal records. Wow. So Brown made wide use of the governor's clemency powers, far more so than her predecessors. She shortened, oh my God, I cannot read today. She shortened the sentences of 912 non-violent inmates at risk of contracting COVID, granted 130 pardons, cleared death row, and wiped away cannabis possession convictions of nearly 50,000 people. That is insane this clemency that she had going on released this many. I understand that they were nonviolent, whatever, but I mean, look at what happened. He was part of this early release program, and he's now a serial killer. Alleged. Nothing has been officially charged yet, but alleged. Brown earned recognition across the country for her commitment to criminal justice reform, appearing at Princeton University, for example, on a December panel titled Correcting Injustice, How Clemency Serves Justice and Strengthens Communities. Wow. No, it didn't do any good in this case with Jesse Calhoun. Okay, so I'm not going to read every single detail, but basically he did help with the wildfire situation, and that kind of helped him. All right, so nearly 2 years later, on June 1st, 2023, they reported the discovery of the bodies of 6 young women. Kristen in February 19th in Southeast Portland. Joanna found April 11th. All the victims' names, and I have this in a previous video. It goes over all of their names and how they were found. Online sleuths ran with that information, raising questions about whether the 6 deaths were linked. On June 4th, the Portland Police Bureau issued a statement in response to widespread Sifa, can you just read? Widespread speculation saying PPB has no reason to believe these 6 cases are connected. It is unclear whether the Police Bureau was deliberately withholding information or if new information has emerged since then. On June 6, however, they reported that 3 of the victims shared similar circumstances and had frequented the same places in the months before their deaths, according to a source close to the investigations. That story did not say whether police had a suspect. And again, I think I did touch up on this, that the 3 victims, like, they frequented the same places. So I had a feeling we were looking at a serial killer situation, but, wasn't anything, and it's still not really confirmed. But when this came out today, I was like, in the wake of those deaths, WW has learned officials contacted Governor Tina Kotek's office about Calhoun. As Brown's successor, Kotek has the authority to end any of the communications which are conditional. Kotek did so in Calhoun's case, leading to his arrest.
Commutations.
What?
You said communications.
Oh,
Commutations.
Okay. Gotcha. If you're just up here for grammar police, then
No,
I
you
don't
said
need
help.
you.
I came back to help.
Right, PJ?
You want me to read?
No, if you want, it's fine. Go for it.
Oh, okay. The government or fuck you.
I got it.
Sorry. Yeah, you do it.
The governor's office received a request to revoke Jesse Lee Calhoun's commutation status from the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office on July 3rd of 2023 and fulfilled the request the same day. We do not have further comment as this is a pending investigation. So, yeah, it seems like they were definitely onto it back then, like back in June when they found the connections between the 3 women. On June 6th, officers from agencies that included the Multnomah and Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, don't correct me,
Clackamas.
I say it how I want, and the U.S. Marshal Service moved to arrest Calhoun on a parole violation. So when officers contacted Calhoun, whose records show is 6'4" and 266 pounds and has a history of resisting arrest, he plunged into the Willamette River in Milwaukee and tried to escape. Officers subdued him and initially booked him on a parole violation on June 6th in Clackamas County, where one of the 6 women's bodies was found, transferred him to Multnomah County, where 3 women were found the next day. Oh, wow. So that all happened like back to back. And then moved him to Snake River, a state prison near the Idaho border. The lawyer who most recently represented him says he no longer does. It is unclear whether he has an attorney currently. So Brown, who left office in January, reacted strongly to news of his arrest. I'm absolutely horrified for the victims, their families, and all those who have experienced this loss, Brown said in a statement to WW. After they requested comment from the Multnomah County District DA's office on Monday morning, that office and the Portland Police Bureau jointly released a statement saying investigators had identified an unnamed person of interest, adding that there were links among the deaths of Kristen, Charity, Bridget, and Ashley. So it does look like, so he is a person of interest. They obviously arrested him, so he is a suspect. I'm going to get to the comments and I'm going to pull up this article after. Who is Moody? I am not Moody. Sif is Moody.
What?
Oh, hey, Doxy.
I am never.
Thank you for joining.
I don't even know what Moody is.
All right. So I'm gonna see if this one has anything different. So it just says multiple sources at different agencies have confirmed that Jesse Lee Calhoun, 38, is the person of interest in the deaths of 4 women whose bodies were discovered in winter and spring. The announcement that they may be connected came from the Multnomah County DA's office Monday morning. He is now in custody. So it doesn't say how he's connected to the 4 deaths, but he does have an extensive criminal history. And then it goes on to talk about the incidents I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he choked a K-9 officer and repeatedly kicked an officer. And wow, okay, so this one says those same records say he has 2 teenage kids and used meth daily. Okay, and then this one goes through how he goes out on early release. Yeah, so this one's not very detailed on his case, but I just wanted to make sure that I showed and got this out here, his face out there, because he is definitely a suspect in what some of us were thinking with the Oregon murders. You know, there was a lot of speculation on the internet on whether or not it was a serial killer, and it appeared to be, and that's what it looks like is going on here. Hey, Larissa. I have a video on this. It's called the Oregon Murders. But this came out today that they arrested. They have a person of interest. They have a suspect. Nice, PJ. Check out Killshot. Tell them Daisy sent you. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Hey, Michael. How's your evening going? Welcome in, MJ. Michael and MJ. I think I got everybody. But yeah, and I wish I could just share my video, but I'm not gonna do any of that stuff right now. But if you go look at my videos, it's called the Oregon Murders, and it kind of gives a breakdown of what was going on. Like I said, it was 6 women within 100, all found within 100 miles of each other, within like, Sifa, do you remember like the span of like 6 months, 3 months, something like that?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Because I don't want to put out anything wrong, but so now everything I have coming in is like earlier I couldn't find anything on this. Okay, so let's share this tab instead, just to kind of give a background. So this was back in June, and it said that they had no reason to believe that the deaths of 6 women were connected to a possible serial killer. And so it was 6 women whose remains were found in and around Portland over the past 6 months. So that's what it was. It was all within 100 miles of each other, as it states right here. And it was like over the course of 6 months. So at this point, they didn't think it had anything to do with the serial killer. And, you know, come to find out today that at least four of the women's deaths do have connections in some way. They haven't stated what those connections are besides the fact that they frequented the same places. But I'm sure, like all the other cases we're working on, more will come out on this. Thank you, MJ. I hadn't heard anything about that one. And I'm gonna go, let me see, I think. Sorry, y'all, I'm looking for a link to pull up real quick. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to find the one. Kristen, are you still in chat? Okay, the other article you sent me with the guy with the human remains, the Sifa, are you here? I need your brain. What state did that happen in? The case that we covered last week with the guy with the skulls around his home?
Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, that's where.
Louisville,
Okay.
Kentucky.
There was an update on that today. Oh, the Gilgo Beach killer was Long Island. He was known as the Long Island Killer, and it's wild that all of that is going on. I haven't even dug into that one because there's way too much. I mean, there's a lot of information on that one, but I have a friend who lives on Long Island, and I lived on Long Island at one point, and I remember her just telling me about the Long Island Killer and just like how they never found him. They had no idea who he could be, and like just living there was all these years. It's just been kind of uneasy for them, like when they go places and stuff. And I can't imagine.
Are you smoking crack in here?
Can you get out of my room? Sorry about the background noise. Okay, let me pull up this other one. All right. So I know this is like going off topic of what my my thumbnail and title said, but I did cover that. And for those that are just coming in, like I said, it was a serial killer. They say he's a person of interest / suspect because they arrested him and he is in custody. Yeah, MJ, it really is. Thank you, Kristen. I'm gonna grab that one because I did pull up a different one, but this is the one I wanted to show. Oh, it says that link didn't work. So if you want to try to grab it and put it in back chat for me. Michael, that might be the one that I just went over previously. It was 6 women, and it was this guy. He was arrested today, and at least 4 of the deaths are linked to him that we know of so far. It's raining. I don't think anyone. Yeah, it was storming over here earlier too. Yeah, we try to keep up with, all the latest breaking stuff that's going on. There's, I mean, it's so much darkness and so many crazy cases that we've come across, and there's always something new, something going on that you're just like, what in the world? And that is what's, when you cover the true crime cases, it gets to be a lot and it gets to be heavy because of so much darkness. These cases are insane. Hey Judy, good evening. Thank you. All right, let me try it again because I tried it and it wouldn't work. All right. Okay. So, give it a little background. Last week I did a live on, I think it's, what is his name? James Knott. His home was busted by the FBI with 40 skulls, spinal cords, and other bones in his home. Now they're saying it may be linked to the Harvard morgue human remains illegal moving of persons scheme, FBI alleges, but this is strictly with human remains, moving of human remains scheme. So not to get that confused with people. Sorry about that. So this is kind of a recap. They found the human skulls, spinal cords, femurs, and hip bones in a Kentucky man's home, a criminal complaint says. The FBI said they also found a link to the Harvard morgue's human remains scheme. The morgue manager was indicted last month on charges of selling human remains on the black market. So, and again, this is more of a recap. This part is, when they searched his home, he was arrested on July 11th, and he was part of a broader network involved in the sale and transportation of fraudulently obtained human remains. When they arrived at his home to arrest him, they asked if anyone else was home, and his reply was, "Only my dead friends," according to the criminal complaint. So that was his reply. And again, so this is just a recap of what I went over last week. I did the live on him. But the fact that they're now saying, that it does have connections to the Harvard medical, what was it again? Yeah. I don't want to say the whole title again, but the illegal moving of human remains scheme. Let's see. And I did want to point out that I noticed this today, that he is currently in custody of the United States Marshal Service. So it doesn't even say he's in custody of the United States Marshal Service, like Sifa was saying. That's big time. Sif, are you still here? Because if not, I can kick you and let you join chat.
No, I'm right here.
Yeah, well, but yeah, basically you were saying he's in custody of the United States Marshal Service. That's like a game changer, right?
Yeah, marshals are the ones who kind of, they're part of Homeland Security. So DHS and marshals are similar to ICE, where like they kind of focus on like the borders and fugitive moving, and also people who are involved in illegal transportation of humans across like state lines or border lines. So
Yeah.
that's why the marshals are involved in this one.
So I wonder if the other guy that was arrested, the Cedric Lodge, he was the one that when they, when we were reading all the stuff last week, he was the one that was involved like with the Harvard Medical. He was the morgue manager. So he was a co-conspirator. If he was indicted, I wonder if he was like, you know what I mean? Like I wonder if he was like, how does that work if now if they found something else out more to where this guy's being held by U.S. Marshals? I just wonder what his co-conspirator, what's his status? That's what I would like to know. Because just to give you a background, he even sold dissected faces. Trigger warning in chat. Anybody can type it. He sold dissected faces and hired a man to tan human skin, quote, to create leather. And other remains even ended up being sold in a doll shop in Salem, Massachusetts named Cat's Creepy Creations, according to court documents. So his co-conspirator is even creepier, in my opinion. But yeah, this is the background on what we went over last week. But yeah, it seems to be part of a huge network of people involved in the illegal moving of human remains. So yeah, that's crazy. And we did say last week that more was going to come out. Now I'm waiting to see if they do any kind of DNA on, any of the remains that they found, to see if it's connected in any kind of way to cold cases, missing persons. Like, you never know. Let's see. But yeah, so again, short, unplanned live, but I wanted to bring it out since, all the cases I do cover and I do get updates. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I appreciate all of you that send me information, like when things do come out on cases I've worked on or that SIP has covered, or, anything that's breaking that we've had interest in or that we've brought to you guys. I appreciate everyone that does send me that information. If the skulls are intact enough for dental, that would be best. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and that's what Sifa was talking about, was the pulp, or however they do any of that. Thanks, Skillshop, for the moral support. Thanks for being here, even though you're working. Sifa is dropping our links right now. The femurs they have are good too. Yeah, I mean, they had a lot to hopefully go off of.
Sorry, Kristen had sent me another one that I put in back chat for you.
Thank you. No. Almost opened it in this tab again. So if I don't left you in here all by yourself. Oh yeah, this is the other one. Okay. The bone collectors, a look inside the macabre culture of dealing in human remains. The Harvard morgue scandal revealed a community of oddities collectors. What? So this is a light bulb with a skull of a mouse that has grown through the process of, what is that? Diaphanous. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Show me.
It's right here.
It's not on the screen.
Oh, yeah. I was just kidding. It only showed this picture. So this is the skull of a mouse.
Diaphonization.
Yeah, it's going through that process.
Diaphonization.
All right, so Mike Vitka got his first human skull from a dentist's daughter. Decades ago, Vitka had a friend in college whose dad possessed a well-kept medical example skull. It boasted a full head of teeth, as all the best skulls do, and Vitka loved it. When the friend's father died years later, she gifted it to him. Today, Vitka says the skull serves as the jewel of a collection that has grown to include an additional human skull purchased for $200 from an oddity shop in New York City, as well as a human skeleton bought at an auction, from an old fellow's fraternal order post that was going under. The bones arrived in Salem from Maine, strapped to the back of a friend's car in a ceremonial coffin. Okay, that's so weird. As Vitka explained recently, a grinning human skull atop a pile of books in one's office really sets the mood. I'm sure Sifa would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Among the more surprising aspects of the ongoing Harvard University morgue scandal, in which a longtime medical school employee is accused by federal authorities of stealing human body parts and selling them to a slew of buyers, is the revelation that there are those who aspire to obtain and collect such things. Unlike similar cases that have garnered attention nationally in recent years, the alleged recipients appeared not to be black market dealers motivated solely by profit. Rather, at least some of the implicated buyers appear to be part of a network of fringe collectors who sought the specimens in part for their own collections. Indeed, long before federal authorities set their sights on Harvard, a subset of the so-called oddities community had been operating within this marketplace of the grisly and morose. It's a world where things such as embalming supplies, ancient medical devices, and yes, human remains can be highly coveted and legally obtained. That's just so weird to me. So it just proves exactly what Killshot said last week about like it's a very common thing. I mean, yeah, it's legal. It's freaking weird. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on comments. And I know that's what I'm saying, Grace girl. Why? Trying to catch up on cat. No, I need to get off this live today. I was not ready for a live. Just before this, just to let y'all know, we were doing technical stuff and we were all over the place. My God.
I mean, thank God you had me.
Yeah, Micah is getting her YouTube channel set up, and so we're helping her clear up her computer. But yeah, forensically speaking, the femurs are great for DNA recovery. So I'm saying I hope that they test all those, whatever they can. Yeah, they like them for decorations, which I think is just weird. But that's my opinion. Obviously, there's a market for it, so I get why they want them for educational and medical purposes, but otherwise, if people need them, why? That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it for those reasons, but to collect these, no, I'm just.
I mean, at least
I'm
all
good.
of mine are plastic.
Right. Yeah, there's a big difference. I mean, I had a brother who liked you like the plastic skull thing. That's different. It's when this is a whole new, to me anyway. So I'll continue, and it's a marketplace that appears to be expanding. So at the moment, the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, which advertises preserved specimens and animal skulls and bones, is making its way across the United States, slated to make stops in a dozen cities in the coming months. A smattering of brick and mortar oddity shops have cropped up throughout New England, and on an oddity-centered Reddit group, users can peruse images of an array of human remains available for sale, including a human skull with custom carrying case, or simply seek advice on upkeep. Okay. So this is a recreation of an Aztec death whistle.
What?
The death whistle would be worn around the neck of the individuals and sounds like someone screaming.
Yo, that reminds me low-key of Jurassic Park. The resonating chamber.
Oh, I don't know what the resonating chamber is, but
I know.
just a general question asked one user: how do I get bones to stop smelling? Oh, see, why? Why? Just why? It is, but why though? I don't know. I don't get it. Check your skulls around the house. Yeah, but not real human remains. I get like the plastic ones, but I don't know. MJ, you caught my slip up. All right. So, in explaining their pursuit of such things, collectors offer a variety of motivations, from preserving history to securing items that can be used in artistic projects or design. In the search last week of a Kentucky apartment tied to the Harvard case, for instance, they allegedly found some 40 human skulls arranged as home decor, including one decorated with a headscarf. But many say a fascination with death and the various ways it is processed across history and cultures has long permeated a certain subset of the oddities community. And see, I can understand how we went over that on your channel, Sifa, with the different funerary practices around the world. Like, that was interesting, and it was neat to kind of see the different ways that different cultures handled their loved ones' death. But like, I don't understand the fascination of wanting human bones, human remains in your home. During a recent tour of his Warner, New Hampshire home, Chris Martiello guided a pair of visitors through an extensive personal collection that includes a mummified fetal pig, a pair of taxidermy bats, and various Peruvian funerary dolls, which he said are made using the clothing that a person wore when they died. Martiello, who works as a nurse and became interested in oddities years ago, likened the search for rare items to a kind of glorified scavenger hunt through history. It's curiosity, plain and simple, said Martiello, who also owns what he describes as a tanned piece of human skin with a preserved tattoo. You're surrounded all day by mundanity. Having these items shows me that there's a larger world out there. And this is an image of a preserved tattoo. And what did he say? It was a what? What the hell? Okay. I'm gonna go back. Whatever. So a tattoo of a sailor sits on the table among other oddities from Chris Martiello's collection.
Yeah, that's real human skin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Martiello believes the tattoo was from a sailor who had donated his body to have the tattoo removed, tanned, and preserved. Martiello dates this tattoo between 1865 and 1897 and believes this sailor was a whaler. It's a world collectors readily acknowledge that isn't for everyone. Yeah, I'm me. It's not for me. You unsubbed Killshot, really? You lie. My dad thinks I'm crazy, said Kelsey Bowden, 17, a novice collector from Rhode Island whose assortment of items includes a small jarred shark specimen she's dubbed Clarence. Her father, she says, does find humor in one piece in her collection. Okay. Sippa.
Hmm? What?
Are you paying attention? Because I'm going to kick you. Okay, this 17-year-old says her dad thinks she's crazy because she has this small little shark specimen. She's named Clarence. Her father, she says, does find humor in one piece in her collection. I don't understand. I don't get it.
A raccoon bone.
And she's 17. Like, okay. Nightbot's
Some
not
animals
working.
have a bone there.
Nightbot's not working for you, PJ?
Nah, it's having issues with the like command.
Okay, so public confusion over the laws governing the buying and selling of certain items can also create complications. While all dealers and collectors who spoke with the Globe insist they go to great lengths to ensure they adhere to all laws, Letourneau says police have visited her in the past after receiving unfounded complaints from members of the public. How often the dealing by some in this community actually ventures into the illegal is difficult to determine. See, that's what I'm talking about. In Massachusetts, no centralized government entity keeps track of many offenses on a granular enough level to know how often Chapter 272, Section 72, which is buying, selling, or possessing dead bodies, has been charged. And a survey of district attorneys' offices across the state turned up only a few similar cases. The closest matches came from someone in Worcester County who dug up a body for a religious ritual, and a South Shore man accused nearly a decade ago of keeping dead bodies in a storage unit. Okay, yeah, see, that's extreme. You have one person who dug up a body, and then you have a second one who's keeping dead bodies in a storage unit. Like, what is wrong with people? But even before the Harvard scandal spilled into the national news, some were pushing for measures to make dealing in human remains more difficult. Though there is currently a patchwork of state laws aimed at addressing the handling of donated bodies, stealing bodies, be it from a morgue or a grave, is always illegal. The Massachusetts Funeral Directors Association is hoping to get federal legislation passed that would regulate what the group sees as a gray market of body brokers more tightly. Few rules mean few consequences when bodies are mistreated, reads the organization's fact sheet on the proposed Consensual Donation and Research Integrity Act of 2023. Without question, the recent news out of Harvard has resulted in a circling of the wagons. Several oddity purveyors across New England declined to comment for this story or didn't respond to messages. And in the various oddity shops of Salem, the recent allegations hung as heavy as the haze of incense smoke, with questions about human remains eliciting responses ranging from amusement to trepidation. With this stuff with Harvard, I would suspect it's going to tighten up real good, said Mark Winsler, who owns Union House Oddities in Contoocook, New Hampshire. PJ probably laughed at how I pronounced that. Maybe, I don't know. Or Yusufa. At the same time, the community's recent foray into the public eye does not appear to have dampened the collective spirit. What is this animal? Oh, there's the mummified fetal pig.
It's kind of cute.
Sifa.
What?
One Salem Oddities shop worker who declined to give his name because he didn't have permission to speak while at work said that while he doesn't personally own any human remains, he would love to acquire a human skull if he could find something both legal and affordable. It would be awesome, he said, his smile bisected by a labrae lip ring. Why do they have to throw that in there? I mean, what? It's something primal about our human nature that we just don't experience much. Until then, he is left to make do with a collection that includes a baboon skull that works well as a Yorick stand-in for Hamlet monologues, as well as a clump of hair that purportedly once adorned the head of the cult leader Charles Manson. Why would anybody want any of that? His friend down the counter chimed in, thinking about death, some people turn it off, but some people can't turn it off, so they look to normalize it. Be civil, be kind. This whole thing is just, I don't know, and this website is making me mad. Yeah, it just stays on here. Okay, so I'm going to go back and leave this guy's picture, not this. This is mine. Dang it, I messed it up. But okay, I'm just having a hard time processing all this and trying to make it sound normalized in my own brain because none of it is normal to me. Okay, hold on, I'm going back a little bit. Although I think it's awesome that Forensic Kid got a box of bones to identify and put together. This mama says, keep that all on campus, please. Yeah, I probably say the same. Like, don't bring that to the house. Mm-mm. I'm just catching up in chat. Okay. Judy. Oh my gosh. Why is that? Is that what everyone took away from this? Oh, okay. So again, to anyone coming in on replay or whatnot, the guy on the screen is a suspect. Jesse, please mute yourself, Sifa. Jesse Calhoun has been arrested. He is a suspect in the Oregon murders that I did cover. I have it in a video form if you would like to check that out. And I think that's all I have for today because I am going to get off of here. If you guys want to, talk outside of YouTube, we can do that. Right, Killshot? What the heck is going on? Okay. You guys have a great evening. And you're all fine. I'm not upset or anything, but I need to get off this live. It's been too long and I can't even read tonight. But I love you all. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you for always being here and supporting me. Thank you, Sifa, for being on panel, even though you were a mess tonight.
Even though I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll see you guys probably probably Wednesday. I'm gonna be covering a live Wednesday. So anyway, you guys have a great evening. Thanks again. Love you all. No, I'm not the moody one. Okay. Good night, y'all. I don't hate you. Bye.